Okay. Hey y'all. Let me get some more words a little bit more light. But I want to talk to y'all. Hopefully my ear is not too loud. Because when you guys come on, you guys will let me know if my radio is too loud or my ear is too loud. There's like a lot of people over here where I'm at. Okay. So I wanted to talk to y'all things that are occurring that are just, it's like I don't really know what's going on. Like I'm not really clear on what's going on with um my sisters right now, really in general. Like there seems to something that seems to be amiss. So we're gonna talk about that. Hopefully my sound is not too loud on sorry, I was eating chicken. Not too loud on the video so you guys can actually hear me. Um so let's talk because radio's supposed to be off. Turn off radio. It doesn't want to turn off. So interesting. So there seems to be this thing going on where, like, so I'll say this. So I'm in a few spaces where women discuss men, right? So I'm heterosexual, just so I can just make that clear and help people understand. Um, so I'm in a lot of spaces where women talk about men and about just some of the behaviors of men, and then sometimes they'll post like their conversations that they are having with men on these dating apps. And some of the conversations are very crazy. However, I will state that some of these conversations I've been seeing for the betterment of probably about 11 or 12 years now. When I was younger, I was really interested in like attraction. I'm still interested in attraction, and the psychology of attraction, and the biology of attraction. And also was very enthralled and embroiled in the space of I gotta get married. I gotta have a husband. I gotta have these different things to like have a full life, to be good enough, to all these different things that young women are taught, particularly when you're raised in a religious environment. So I was doing all of these things, which okay, this is like a loaded ass video. I mean, let me process everything. So I was doing a lot of things which I see a lot of older women doing now. Like I see a lot of women who are older than me, that they've been doing these same things for the past 5 or 6 years that I was doing when I was like 24, right? Because I mean, I had the same mentality that they had, right, about acquiring a partner or whatever. And so I read all these books. I had certain professionals speak to me. Some of them were actual therapists, like speak to me about some of these things. I was just trying to make myself. Let me get my seat back so I can breathe a little bit. I was trying to make myself be good enough. That was always like the mindset that I had, was like, well, I gotta make sure that I'm this so I can get married. I gotta make sure that I'm this so that I can get a partner. I gotta make sure that I'm this so that I can get this or that I can get that. And most of those things um, revolved around a relationship. But there were also things that I did so that I could get certain types of jobs or whatever. And there were certain things that I did to not piss off certain family members, right? It was just always this thing about, can y'all hear me? I just want to make sure that my sound is not like fucked up. 'Cause I see there's like 6 people on, but I don't, I don't want to like the video, when I redo the video, it's like the sound is trash. So I guess y'all let me know if y'all can. I don't see no chat. Okay, so I'll wait and see if you guys say something, but I'll keep going. So I was always trying to like, basically, I was trying to be Gumby. I was trying to be Gumby. Okay, I was trying to be flexible. And this is what I hear a lot when y'all talk about because I used to do this too. I don't do this shit no more. Code switching. Okay, good. Code switching. I don't do that shit no more. I get it. I know it's a survival tactic. I know, people do it. I don't do that shit no more because code switching feels to me like what I used to do when I was trying to be in the dating pool and trying to be in the mix and trying to get chose, right, and all this other bullshit that women just, oh my god, anyways. But a lot of this stuff comes from religious beliefs, and if it's not religion, particularly Abrahamic religion, if it's not that, it's If it's not religion, oh shit, my shit's not even charging. And let me charge my baby, let me charge this phone before it turn off. If it's not patriarchal religion, it's just flat out misogyny, right? So if you come from a misogynistic family, or you come from a family that's religious, or both, you got a lot of these messages, right? And so um okay, so this is part of why this came up for me. So I saw a few people make posts. It's like I be getting like it's like I'll see something and it'll come up 4 and 5, 6, 7 different times, and I'm like, damn, it really makes me think. Opinion of the economy of the U.S. dollar. That's really interesting question. Um, this is what I'll say about the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is completely and solely independent on black female labor, which has a lot to do with what I'm saying. Because what's happening right now, and this is why the men are getting so aggressive. Like, I saw a lady, she was on a dating app, and this guy liked her picture, and he messaged her, and she was like, I'm not interested. That's all she said. Right? I'm not interested. And this Negro he went ballistic. He was like, that's why you got 3 kids and you not married. Sorry, the chicken under my nail. It's like really showing. I have to go home and wash my hands. It was like he said something about, did you never learn about marry before you carry, and all this. He started like going off. Okay, he just started going the fuck off. About her, right? He doesn't know her. He just sent her a message, and she said she wasn't interested. And he started snapping. However, but let me. The point I'm making is because I've experienced this like 100 times, and I know a lot of women who have too. Like, you just tell a dude I'm not interested, and they go off because the whole notion is you should be happy that I'm even fucking talking to your ass. Like, there's this whole attitude of like they don't care if they look like a fucking trash. They don't care if they look like the most disgusting man ever, a man you would never touch, right? Even if he was the last man walking. And those are usually the ones that be going off, but that's another conversation. But the attitude is, you're not only are you a black woman, but you got kids. You should just be happy for whatever you get. I don't even want to say I'm fucking tired of it. I'm tired of women believing it. I'm tired of women going along with that shit. I was watching a video on this one feminist page that I watched. This lady, she's like a coach where she helps women break out from patriarchy, which I love it. I mean, shit, I should try to take a couple of clients myself, because some of the things I hear women say, I'd be like, oh my god, you sound like me at 19, completely programmed by religion and completely programmed by growing up in a patriarchal society. Like, girl, you sound crazy. But I had the privilege of deprogramming from a lot of those systems for different, luckily God has placed those things in my path to where I was able to deprogram. But anyway, so there was a video, and this lady was like, if you're a single mother and you're going on dates, they should be paying for your dates. And it was a white lady talking, y'all. And I'm listening to it, and she made all these really great points. And I was like, black women would never ask for that. They may, if the dude offers it, like, they'll be like, oh, okay, great, thank you so much. But they're not gonna ask, because black women, like, this is what I've learned, or what I've experienced being a black woman and watching other black women, is we be afraid to ask for, like, I'm gonna just uh like, black women are afraid to ask for shit that other women of other races require. And it was just real deep to me, because that's what came to me after I watched it. I was like, a black woman would never ask a man for that. They would never just flat out be like, well, I need you to pay for my children's daycare, or how do you feel about getting a daycare? They would never ask, whether it was nice, feminine, masculine, however, they would never ask, because we are so used to being told, you don't deserve help, you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that. Okay, because there was this other post that I saw. Like, I just been seeing all this stuff about just this overall energy and attitude, and it's a program. I don't even know if it's an attitude. It's a program where it's like if you're a black woman and you show up, that teacher, that therapist, that coach, they feel like they have a license to talk to you like you're a fucking dog. Okay, and I know black women can attest to this, that you've been in spaces where everybody else was being talked to like a human being, and then that person decided to talk to you like you wasn't shit. Black women are afraid to ask men for things that they deserve because now in this society, I mean, I don't know what was going on 50 years ago because I wasn't alive, but the things that we talk about that our grandfathers and different things used to do, black men don't do those things anymore because they don't feel like they are supposed to. Because black women have been fawning for penis for so long now. Okay, they locked up a really large amount of black men, and black women, we really believe that we're in the scarcity of men. So when we begin to ask for what other women ask for. And see, that's the thing. That's what I see a lot of black men. Oh, well, you had all these kids and nobody married you, right? Black men don't get married. Like that's a black man's worst nightmare is to have to get married. Unless he came from a family where he saw the benefits of being married, right? So they don't do that. So the majority of women, whether you're white, black, you got spots, you got stripes, if you deal with a black man, you are never going to make it down the aisle because that is something that they don't want to do. It's something that they're told that is bad. It's something that they're, you know what I'm saying? So then you have these men, again, like I was talking about with the lady, had the man that was talking to her so crazy and, let me see if I can, okay. Um, okay, so, okay. So we get into these spaces where we just like with a lot of black women, they will accept the bare minimum when it comes to jobs, when it comes to friendships, when it comes to partners, all types of different things, because we are just really told that don't ask for too much, don't be too loud, don't be too aggressive. Like there's all of these different things. And so going back to what I was saying in the beginning of my video, when you start to listen to all these different programs and people and things, you become like Gumby. Okay, you bending, you twisting, you silencing, you're doing all these things to try to keep people from upsetting people, from putting your foot on people's neck, to set up boundaries. You don't want to do any of that. And what I have, not even what I've noticed, a lot of these things are natural to you, but you don't want to have nothing to do with that stuff. You don't even want to do none of that. You don't want to correct people. You don't want to put people in their place. You don't want to tell people no. In some aspects you don't want to tell them yes, but you don't behave like your normal self because everything you do comes from a space of, well, I don't want to piss nobody off. Well, I don't want to seem too assertive. Well, I don't want to make this person mad. Well, like, bruh, like literally, I lived my entire 20s like that. My entire 20s like that. Because prior to that, I didn't do that as much, and there was just so much. There's just so much. There's so much pushback, and so it made me feel like I was the bad guy because I was getting all of this pushback. The crazy thing about focusing on yourself, loving yourself, doing work on yourself, and then deciding to go deeper and do shadow work and go see a therapist and all these other types of things is when you sit down in front of somebody who got some sense, right? And they tell you you weren't wrong for doing that. You weren't wrong for sticking up for yourself. You weren't wrong from walking away from that marriage. You weren't wrong for this. You weren't wrong for that. Honestly, for me, that was like a grieving process that I had for a little while around that, because my entire life I've been told that I just have this horrible attitude and I'm just so disagreeable and I'm so hard to deal with, and I'm also a crybaby and I'm this and I'm that. It was just all of these different criticisms of different parts of my personality because what I later learned, right, when I got older, is that these people were saying these things to me to emotionally manipulate me so that they could have power and control over me and get me to do what they wanted me to do. I did not understand this. So like when I see stuff like Megan, I don't even care for Megan Thee Stallion as like an artist or any of that. Like I'm not a fan. I'll say that I'm not a fan at all. But when I see all of the vitriol coming towards her in the media, I'm just like, that's exactly what life is as a black woman who minds her own fucking business. Like if you mind your own fucking business, it's amazing how much like people will just come for your neck for no reason. Okay, I talked about this a little bit in another video I did a while back about the Amanda Seales interview. It's like people was like, oh, there couldn't be all of these people doing all of this stuff to her. Word? Like the misogynoir is wild out here. Like they people really think they can walk over black women and they can talk to black women crazy. So when you see black women starting all these businesses and getting extremely wealthy and then leaving their mates and doing all this stuff, people can't stand it. People can't take it because they're like, this bitch supposed to be a mammy. She supposed to be in somebody's house picking up, making minimum wage. How dare she go out here and buy 6 acres? And then she's a single mom. What? Like how it's like you are, so it's like all of these ceilings that have been placed on women, and particularly women of color. Black women keep busting them. Like it pisses people off. It's pissing people off. You have to understand that what I've learned for myself personally, it's as a black woman, as a black mother, if I'm pissing people off, I am usually on the right path. Because I never go out of my way to piss a bitch off, ever. So it's like if I'm minding my business and this is causing so much fury from other people, it's really amazing to me how angry some people get. And what I have realized is the reason why they're so angry is because they can't fucking use your labor. They can't use your labor no more. Yeah, it finally occurred to me this year. I was like, oh, it's because people can't use me anymore. Oh, because you can't get free information from me anymore. Oh, because I don't want to date you out of desperation of apparently being this tragically flawed single mother the rest of my life. Like that whole the whole lie that is, because that's not even reality for a lot of women. But that whole fear-based program that they try to put on women to like keep them from leaving domestic violence relationships, or leaving dusty ass marriages, or leaving crusty ass niggas in general, or to stop them from, you know, deciding that they want to keep their children and raise them by themselves, whatever it is that creates a situation where a mother becomes a single mother, and she doesn't immediately try to go find another husband. It's like people act like that's the worst thing that can happen to you. And I hate, one reason why I hate this is because basically what you're saying is a woman being in a relationship where she is being disrespected, abused, financially abused, whatever, is better than her being alone and not being abused. When you shame women for leaving niggas, when you shame women for escaping to safety, when you shame women for being it's like, as a single mother, what I learned, because I became a mom at 21 years old. And like I said, I dealt with this most of my 20s. Men being very, 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 very rude and disrespectful to me. Now, granted, I did have some men that were not mean to me, but there were a lot of men, particularly men who I did not want to date, who were very angry with me because I wouldn't give them the time of day, because it was like, how dare you? You're used goods. They try to do this whole thing. And it's like, but I don't feel like I'm used goods. I feel fine. So I'm not going to pay attention to you. And then next thing you know, the man is screaming. The man is yelling obscenities at you. And you're like, okay, well, block. And he's calling you from another phone. And he's doing this. But again, you have to look at that for what it is. Like, these men are calling you crazy, low down, dirty, useless. And he won't stop calling your phone. What is that about? Something is driving this person and these people, right? Whoever do these type of things to women. Or why you don't want to have, like, people get mad at women, they don't want to have kids at all. They call them names. They call them stupid. They call them all these types of things because they don't want to feed into whatever patriarchy has decided she should do, right? At this point in her life, oh, you're 25, you need to go get a husband. What if she doesn't want to? And she decides she wants to go be a fucking osteopathic surgeon, right? So she's wrong for that. And then she's wrong if she goes here and she has a baby with dude, and then he leaves or whatever. It's just it's like you literally are damned if you do, damned if you don't. And what I've learned about that whole system of damned if you do, damned if you don't, 'cause they do this to black people and they do this to women, is it's all about keeping you expendable. It's all about keeping you at a point where you're always scared. You always looking over your shoulder. You're always modifying your behavior to try to appease other people, right? So you never are authentically you. You never do what you want to do. You're scared to share yourself with society, with the world, because you're afraid of what people are going to think of you. Again, this is all program. This is all a program. This is all bullshit. Okay, there are women who come from every walks of life who are successful. Your success is not, you're not less successful because you don't have a spouse. You're not less important because you don't have children. You're not none of those things. So again, when you come across these people and these places and these things that try to enforce this on you, you need to know that this system or that person, they're they're using a lot of their energy to try to force you to do something that you don't want to do, that you don't believe in, that you don't feel is valid. Okay? Understand part of the reason why they're doing all of that and they're putting so much concerted effort or talking about you on podcasts, and they're doing all these things is because they need your energy. So somebody asked me about the economy. That's why. They need black women's energy. This is why everybody is so mad about these younger women now that are like, I'm just gonna go get my tube side. Ain't nobody finna ever catch me slipping. People are pissed off with these young women. Okay, they're just as pissed off with them as they are pissed off about the woman with the 5 kids that just bought a 6, 7 bedroom home. They're mad at both of them on the same degree. Okay? Because when you decenter men, when you decenter males, okay, you have pretty much determined that you are going to be like an eclectic figure on this planet. Okay, your mindset is different from everybody else's now because you have decentered males and you have centered yourself and you've centered what you want to do. That's the last thing anybody wants your ass to do, is to focus completely on what makes you happy and what you want to do. That's their worst nightmare. And if you do at some point decide to adopt a child or get a husband or whatever, they're gonna talk about your ass then too. It's all a lie. It's all a game. And I realized this. Like after the age of 30 years old, I finally realized this. It took me that long. Because I was raised in church, I was raised around people, and I know a lot of oldest daughters can attest to this, where the men are coddled and cared for. I mean, some of these men can go out here and commit a whole rape, and their mother will make excuses for their asses. Oh no, my son was here with me last night. You know that nigga ain't shit. But let your daughter run a red light. She going off on her. A lot of us have experienced that. That's the misogyny. That's the patriarchy. Okay, where the daughters they're held to a higher standard. They're treated worse than their male siblings, their male counterparts in general. You can't make a mistake, but he can make 10 before somebody decides to lecture him and tell him he need to stop. You know, we've all experienced that. My opinion on black children having access to guns and ghetto content. I don't have a fucking comment about that because that's not what the fuck I'm talking about. Period. So, um, again, I keep saying that there's all of this concerted effort. I mean, I saw a sister post today that she went to a conference from some famous coach. I'm not even gonna name her name. Some famous coach had this big conference, and it was just a big mean girl fest. And these were other women talking to black women, other black women talking to black women. This huge mean girl fest where they were just talking down to the women and just being very like, just talking to black women like they wasn't shit. And I'm just like, oh, I didn't know that energy. I've had coaches do that to me before. I've had therapists do that to me before. I've had managers do that to me before. I've had partners do that to me before. To me, it's just a whole concerted effort. People try to talk to black women like they are the what's the word I want to use? Like, we're everybody's do girl, and like, I can talk to that bitch I ever want to talk to her because she ain't gonna do nothing about it. It's always been the energy I've got from people who have disrespected me and or tried to even threaten me, taunt me, do all type of shit. And particularly from other black people, because the thing with black folks, if y'all don't know, we real big on don't call the police. So I've had a few bitches try to threaten me in my life, and I'm like, okay, bitch, cool, great. We can just take it all the way to the white folks if you want to go there. I'll just call them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have a criminal record, so like I don't have a record, so fine. You want to, cool. And so then you're the bad guy when you try to defend. I made a whole live about that. Like, black women trying to defend themselves, people act like you have no right to do that shit. They act like you have no right to do that shit. None. You're not supposed to defend yourself. You're not supposed to speak up. You're not supposed to get angry. You're not supposed to cry. Like, what is that? That's not even a human being. A person who operates, that's not even a human. Okay. One of my teachers, that's one of her tenets, and what she talks about is people try to treat black women as less than human. They absolutely fucking do. So understand, when you are being mistreated and you like, didn't they just talk to that white girl over there with some respect, and that they talk to that Latina girl over there with some respect, and they talk to this nigga over here with some respect. But then when I come in the damn building, everybody, yeah, you're not over. And really, I just want to say, like, the whole basis of my life is there is nothing wrong with you. You are not tragically flawed. That's what everybody. It's a ambulance going in front of me. That's what everybody would like for you to believe. You are not tragically flawed. There is nothing wrong with you. I used to have a girl. I'm not cool with her no more, but I remember she was very deeply deeply invested in her religious beliefs. Okay, I'm not even gonna tell you what her faith was, but she was deeply embedded in her religious beliefs, right? And so she had this child, right, with this nigga, and this nigga decided that he didn't want to parent with her, and he didn't want no baby at all, etc., etc. Typical story. Okay, that's what he said after she got pregnant. No, I don't want no baby. Blah 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 blah. Typical black male behavior, right? So then she decides she doesn't. Okay, cool. You don't want the baby. I want the baby. Out. So she leaves, and she continues on her well-educated life, and she starts working, and she's taking care of her child, and she's doing all of these different types of things and moving forward with her life. But she just it's like every time we would have a conversation, she would be like, I just really need a husband. I just really need a husband. Oh, I need a husband. Like, she was just obsessed, right. And I'm sure that this obsession didn't come solely from her religious beliefs. I'm sure there were other people around her pushing her, telling her that she needed to get a man stat, right? Because I've lived this before. So eventually she ends up meeting this guy. He's not really all that, right? He's really less than all that. But she meets this guy, and he's like good enough. He's good enough, right? He's very underdeveloped in his career. He's a little funny looking, but he's good enough, right? So she gets with this guy, and he's cool with her having a kid. So and that's what happens with a lot of women who have children. And I'm speaking specifically from a black woman perspective. It's like, if you are like, okay, he's not some creep, he's not a pedophile, he don't have a criminal record, da 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 da. This is good enough. Like, a lot of women just do that. They just be like, this is good enough. Like, because it's like, again, you already have this tape playing in your mind from other people that you're not gonna never find no husband anyway. So anybody who deal with you, just be glad. So she gets with this really basic ass dude, and um she settles. because he was willing to get married or whatever, and so she just hopped. And I've noticed this as well with black women, and this is why I really, really, I swear to God, I want y'all to stop bragging about being married to somebody. Jesus, whew, Lord, today I need a prayer cloth to like shake back and forth. Okay, I want y'all to stop bragging about being married to certain people. Some of y'all can brag. Some of y'all husbands are the shit. Your husband is great. He does this. He's in there with the kids. He got the skillet going, and I'm happy for you, sis. But a lot of these women, a lot of them have no room to brag. Okay, you got women calling your phone. You don't know where he at. He might pop his head in and out, the house, but you don't really know where he be. There's women calling your phone. You just had to take, a fucking Z pack 2 weeks ago. Like, come on. So I really those women know who they are. Okay, I'm not talking about all married women. I just want to make that clear. But those women know who they are. Like, they know they got married because, um, you know, the nigga asked them. And there's nothing special about him at all. But they just got married because he asked. Black women have this really, really bad, again, because we have this whole notion that there's piss in the dating pool and there's this and there's that. And so what a lot of black women do is they settle. Like, this is part of the program. They want you to settle. So anyways, because a lot of women feel like settling is better than being single. A lot of them do. What did she say? A piece of man better than no man. A lot of y'all still operate like that, and then want to hoop and holler about a $300 wedding ring that you have and a piece of paper that you signed, but shit is really not peachy in that motherfucker. Like, shit is really, really crusty. Like, it's rusty. Like, it's a nail that's been outside in the rain rusty, and you are like, well, I got a marriage certificate, baby. You want your third Z-Pack. You want your third amoxicillin 1 gram dose, baby. I'm not jealous. Nobody's jealous of you. Nobody who has been STD free for the past the past 20 years of their life, 10 years of their life, 5 years of their life is jealous of you. Nobody is jealous of you if you have to take care of kids that just boop popped up out of nowhere from boop a bitch that you never met in your life. Nobody's jealous of that, sis. But a lot of women, it's really sad to me. But that go again. When I hear women bragging about very ashy ass relationships that are like literally like Shirley Strawberry level relationships, but you're still like, well, he's still well, look at my, ooh, when you're doing that, and people start to peek behind the curtain, and it's a lot of dog shit behind the curtain, and it's fake. What you're telling me is a man's presence in my life is more important than my dignity. It's more important than my self-respect. It's more important than what I want my kids to see. Which further proves my point about us living in this system of patriarchy. You would rather be married to an unemployed, dusty ass nigga just to say that you're married than to be alone. Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, if somebody break into my house and if there's a man there, like I don't care if he's not my spouse, if there's a man there and he can't apprehend the subject, I don't want to be married to him. I don't want to see him. I don't want to look at him. I don't want to smell him. I don't want to eat dinner with him. Like, but there are men who are out of shape, unemployed, living in women's homes, saying that they are husbands because they have a marriage license, but they can't do any of that. They can't defend her. They can't protect her. What? You're not even a husband. Somebody was just nice enough to sign some paperwork with you, boo. You're not a husband. Like, let's be fucking for real. But anyways, I had to go off on my little tangent because y'all get, and I understand. I understand the patriarchy has done a number on y'all. So y'all feel like signing that document really, like, I had to tell a lady a couple days ago. Okay, let me just keep it all the way real. I had to tell a couple days. She messaged me about some stuff going on with her husband and baby mama. She said her husband, baby mama was giving her hell. I don't even like the term husband, baby mama. Okay, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So I had to dig. I'm like, well, how old is the baby? How old is this child? Because if this child's like 7, 8 years old, she needs to get over herself. You know what I'm saying? Well, let me inspect. How old is the baby? Oh, the baby is 22 months. Hmm. It's a pretty fresh human being for you to be married to her dad. Okay, well, how long have you been married? Well, you've been married a year. I was flabbergasted. Okay, flabbergasted. So you married a man who had a 1-year-old child with another woman. Oh, Jesus Christ. But you hollering about my husband, why? What in the fuck is going on with some of y'all? Is it crack? That's my favorite thing to say. Is it crack? I don't be understanding this. Like, if a man has a child under the age of 3.5 years old, this is my personal boundary. If your child is under the age of 3.5 years old, I personally do not want to fuck with you, because the first 3 years of a child's life is about parenting. It's about parenting. It's about taking care of them, all of that type of shit. Okay. And I know people are like, well, we wasn't together when we was fucking. I don't care about none of that shit. I don't care about none. I don't give men any pass, because men have a projectile fluid that causes pregnancy. So that projectile fluid doesn't just hop up out of the penis. Okay, there are things that occur. I don't have no empathy for men with that, and I don't have none. So you married a man that had a 1-year-old child. To me, if I had a partner, if I had a dude who was trying to fuck with me and his child is 1 years old, he can't fuck with me. Once I find out 1 years old, uh, we out, we done, we done. Because how dare you leave that woman over there with that kid? How dare you? But no, your patriarchally minded ass decided, well, he over here with me now. He with me now. Well, okay, yeah, okay, maybe his baby mama is giving you hell and acting crazy and whatnot, because you shouldn't have been fucking with him, sis. She messaged me and I had to tell her, I said, sis, I cannot assist you with that problem, because you prioritize the dick over girl code. I cannot help you. You don't have no goddamn business marrying no nigga that got a fucking 12-month-old child. No, ma'am. Not doing it. Then I had another lady who had a similar issue, but it was like the husband's baby mama, and I'm just like, why can't y'all husbands get they children's mothers together? Why is it so much drama? Is it because he's still sleeping with her? Is it because he owes this woman money? Is it because he hasn't come to see his child? Me, I've been the OG in this single mom life. A nigga not coming to see his child they don't work for my feathers at all. Okay, it don't even bother me. I never understood women getting mad about that, but they care. So whatever. And then sometimes the woman does still have residual relationships with this man that impregnated her. And y'all gotta just keep it real. Y'all know niggas be giving all the game when they getting a woman pregnant. They go, oh, we're gonna get married. We're gonna buy a house. Come on, let's go to this open house and look at this house. Let's go up to Tiffany's and look at rings. Niggas do all that shit. So he has a baby with her, right? I don't understand why you want to be the next bitch. I don't understand that. Men seem to have this whole notion down pat. Men be like, oh, she got kids. All right, I ain't fucking with her. I ain't fucking with her. But then you see a nigga with kids and you just skip your ass. I don't understand that. Leave these niggas with kids alone. I don't understand. Right. And then some women don't understand that the niggas telling them there's the other side of the story. But their whole thing is, well, I'm married to him now. Okay, that doesn't mean he's not lying to you now. That don't mean he not still, when he go pick up his child, and he not eating coochie when he go over there. You don't know what he's doing. I mean, unless you just have a body cam on him all the time, you don't know what the fuck this nigga is doing. Yeah, I never understood that. And I also know that men who operate in this toxic way, they enjoy the female competition. So they'll tell the two women different things and have them going back and forth. That's one of the things I always say. I'm like, if you going back and forth and y'all doing all of this, where is he at in the picture? It sounds like he's sitting there with a glass of Chardonnay enjoying the shit. Because why hasn't he been able to handle, because this girl told me that the baby mama was stalking her, coming to her job, coming to, like, doing all this stuff. Why haven't y'all gotten a restraining order? Why haven't y'all, like, I mean, see, why haven't you made a police report? If she's really trying to harm you, because you know your husband is going back and forth between y'all lying. That's why I was like, I'm not gonna help you. No, I'm not gonna help you with this situation. Is really all you're doing. You shouldn't have been dealing with no nigga that had just had a baby. That's crazy to me. And some women do this because they don't have children and they don't understand what it's like to go home with a baby alone. They don't know what it's like to go home with a baby, and it's all of the. I mean, just the simple aspect of risking your life to give birth, okay, is a lot. And then for the man who impregnated you to be out dating women, and he at the damn Hawks game, and he at the damn this and that, and he ain't gotta wear no diaper, and he ain't gotta wake up in the middle of the night, and all that type of shit. It'll piss anybody off. Like, let's be fucking for real. It would piss anybody off. So I don't understand what his baby mama problem is. I do. And if it was you, you would too. And so when these women end up in the same situations, even after getting married, they act flabbergasted, and I just be like, why are you shocked that he's treating you the way he treated the woman that he had a child by before? Well, because we was married, so I thought, oh, so because y'all signed a piece of paper, you thought that he wasn't going to go out and fuck off on you. Wow. Slow clap for being slow. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Niggas don't care about signing paperwork. Have you met these niggas? Have you met these niggas? Clearly you haven't. I'm gonna tell you, in my experience in life, a marriage certificate would not solidify shit for me. Not a marriage license, not a prenup, none of that shit. The only thing that would solidify shit for me is to get a life insurance policy on a man, so when he dies, I'll get paid. That's about it. But a marriage license is not going to protect you from anything. So that's what I hate that we live in this society again, this whole patriarchal society where we tell women, well, you got a kid by him. That don't mean shit. That don't mean shit. You just got pregnant by him. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. But this child is a permanent fixture in our life. Okay. All right, that doesn't mean anything. But then you go over here and you be like, well, I got married, so this, that means that he gotta abide by these vows, or what? Or you file for divorce and then the relationship's over? Because it don't matter what the fuck you file. Him and that baby mama, they still got that baby. Unless you want to commit a murder and get rid of the child. But okay, and that's between you and God. But in most situations, if your partner, if your husband has a child by Lisa over here, that's not changing at all, right? But if you pick your shit up and say, I don't want to deal with this nigga no more, I'm signing the divorce decree, and the judge signed off on it, it's over. That's it. But y'all literally let patriarchy tell y'all that signing the paperwork and having a ceremony trumps having a child with somebody. No. And I'm gonna tell you how I know. Because in a lot of cultures, once you get married, once you have a baby with somebody, y'all are considered married. I know. America told you different. I know. But in a lot of other places, if you have a child with somebody, y'all are married. Y'all are married. So just let you know that. But anyways, it still doesn't mean that this person is not gonna go out and do other things and sleep with other people and keep money from you and hide money from you and do. It doesn't mean any of that. It just y'all signed the paperwork. Y'all signed paper and y'all had a ceremony. And I understand it's supposed to have this really high standard, and I get that. I get that. But facts are facts. Y'all can be mad about that. Hey, so yeah, there's that whole sector of patriarchy where y'all believe that marriage is going to save you from shit, and that marriage is uh at a higher level positioning in life than somebody having a child with him. And I really hate that a lot of you women get into men's lives and feel like, well, we got engaged and we're married now, so I have a one up on his baby mama. You don't have a one up on shit, bitch. You don't have a one up on a motherfucking thing. Because you are supposed to be, you have to pretty much, you have to deal with this. You have to deal with the fact that he has kids before you. You don't get to come in somebody's life and just because y'all got a had a little party, okay? You had a little engagement party. That don't mean shit. You're new. You're new here, okay? So if his baby mamas are attacking you and driving past your job, and ask yourself, is the dick worth it? Apparently it is, because you haven't stayed and you married a man that had a 1-year-old, or you married a man that had a newborn, or whatever. You stayed. It's okay. So there's that. But this goes back to what I was saying. Okay, black women are conditioned to settle. Y'all are conditioned to settle. Like even the coaches, even though these that's part of what I was trying to talk about, was these coaches that are very demeaning to black women. They talk to you, you pay them and they talk to you like you ain't shit. A lot of them. Ask me how I know. They tell, a lot of them will tell you to settle. They will tell you to settle, because they'll be like, well, if you don't want to date outside your race, you got to deal with this. You got to deal with that. And to a degree, they're not lying. But I'm not gonna go into that conversation today. But they will tell you to settle. They will tell you, if is that, they'll tell you, because as a black woman, again, these coaches, not only do they talk to you crazy, they don't give you the same sauce they give their white clients. Ask me how I know. I've listened to these coaches. I've watched them. They treat their white clients different, or whatever. So with black women, they talk down to you, and really, don't tell them that you got a good job, you got some money. They'll just try to sell you another program. They do not care about helping you, because again, with black women, again, everybody just wants to use your energy. They don't want to tell you the truth. They don't want to tell you the game. They don't want to tell you ways to avoid certain pitfalls or none of that shit. They just want to like take your money and take your energy. That's what I've seen this time and time and time again with black women. We always get the short end of the stick, half of the information they were supposed to get. I've seen black women go into spaces where they are getting premarital counseling with religious leaders, and the religious leaders pretty much tell the woman, you better do this, you better do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do it. Mind you, they dressed it up. They didn't say it like that, but they dressed it up, right? They dressed it up. And the husband is really just giving, okay, man, make sure you provide. So did you watch that game yesterday? Like, no one coaches them. No one teaches them shit, because there's no emotional labor expected on their behalf. Black women, we do the physical labor and we do the emotional labor. And people love to use us for this shit. You need to be very diligent and mindful of the type of information you are getting from other people. Because what I have found is that a lot of times, and this can be your family too, like, I'm just keeping it real. A lot of times, everybody is telling you to do things that is all about protecting their own interests. Don't be too loud so you don't embarrass me. You need to get a husband so people can feel like I'm a good parent. You need to go back to school and get a better job so you don't embarrass me. Like, it's all about the things people like in your mind when people give you advice, or tell you to do things, or even criticize you. Really go back and assess, is this person telling me this because they want what's best for me, or because they want me to do some shit to make them look better, or because they want to keep me suppressed in some form. I mean, there have been so many times I have sat up in front of a therapist, or sat up in front of some type of professional that had some damn sense, and told them about, well, my so and so told me this, or my child's father told me this, or whatever. And they would be sitting there looking at me like, they told you what? And I'm like, well, yeah, so I never did because I was told, like me, like, and y'all know I'm not a timid ass bitch at all, but I would I would operate in a timid way because I was so afraid of like turning the fuck up. I was always afraid of turning the fuck up because everybody always told me that me turning the fuck up was like the worst thing ever. All right. And so that was one of the ways, or one of the things that I realized when I was doing some of my healing work, is that people are really afraid of my anger because it does move shit. Like, I have cut a food and I watch the shelf fall off. Like, I fall off the shelf, vase fall off the shelf. I have really cut a fucking food and watched people begin to like vomit. People were like it. I don't know what it is about my anger, and I'm sure this is not uncommon with black women because we have so much mysticism and power inside of us that when you really cut a fucking fool on people, shit just moves. Shit move. People are afraid of that. And so a lot of times people try to do this thing where they try to do, I don't know why I keep thinking about Moana. They just keep trying to get you to just be normal. Just act, just show grace, just be classy, just forgive, just do this, just all of this stuff to try to like keep you in Gumby mode, where you're in Gumby mode. You'll bend, you'll flex, you'll bend, you'll flex. Um to fit everything. They try to make you so adaptable. Bitch, I don't want to be adaptable all the time. I can be, obviously, but people try to make you be super adaptable to fit to make other people comfortable. I'm not doing that shit no more. I saw a TikTok where a black woman got engaged to her black husband in less than 6 months, and the comment asked if the man was white. Yeah, because black men act like black men treat getting married akin to going to the dentist. I know it'd be a good idea for me, but then I gotta be held accountable for how I ain't been brushing my damn teeth. Now I gotta be held accountable for how I ain't been flossing my teeth. They don't want to. It's something that black men. This is part of why they're impoverished, right? Because they avoid they avoid the accountability of having a female counterpart and the responsibility that comes with being married. So black men avoid this like the plague. Yeah, I would think the same thing too. You got married in less than 6 months. Your husband must not be black. So that's another thing that black men do that is very common, is they will drag, they part of their attempt at avoiding marriage is they don't even want to get engaged. But when they do get engaged, a lot of times black men they make that a 5-year process, 10-year process, or it's just a placeholder situation to keep you with them so that you can hoop and holler about how you're engaged for 5 years, but he don't ever really intend on marrying you. Very common in the black community. That's why when people talk about single mothers in the black community, I just be like, but black men don't like getting married. Like this is something that they put a lot of effort into not getting married. I have seen black men go to exorbitant lengths to avoid marriage. I have seen black men hide from women. I have seen black men buy engagement rings that they don't ever intend on buying a wedding band to go with, to make women stay with them, right? And not be married to them. I have seen black men stay with women for 7 to 10 years, and then when some shit pop off, they be like, "Well, I ain't married to her, so I mean, what the fuck? I ain't married to her. Y'all got 4 kids together, nigga. Like y'all have a mortgage together, nigga." But they love to throw that out there too. I ain't married to her because what they know is that at the end of the day, they're not responsible. I mean, let me clarify that, because in some states, your ass will fuck around and be common law married, fucking around, but they don't even be thinking about that. But yeah, they love the placeholder shit. They love it. And I was just talking about uh even when they are married, like they don't even take that seriously, really. The ones who probably avoid doing it the longest probably understand how important or the sanctity of it, and so they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it all the way. Um but the ones who will go ahead and sign it and keep acting the way they was acting before and not where they wasn't banned when they out, they just don't care. Either they don't want to do the paperwork or they're scared of the paperwork. Or they'll pull a Reese Statista. Like that's what I'm trying to tell. Child, oh my God, I swear to God, God really was protecting me during my 20s, because I wanted me a husband. I wanted me a HUZZZZZ bit. Okay, I wanted the whole, and God just kept blocking it. I just kept getting. I was like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Like, which I know a lot of women do, because I see y'all. Y'all pay a lot of money to life coaches and dating coaches, all type of shit, because y'all want a man that bad. And so you feel like you have to pay all this money to some type of professional to fix you. And I get it, because like I said at the beginning of this live, that's what I did when I was younger. Okay, I wanted to fix me, please. Something's wrong with me. What's wrong with me? Why can't I attract? But now that I'm older, I see why I couldn't attract anybody. I have a big fucking mouth. You're not finna talk to me crazy. There are a lot of women who are married today because they let niggas drag them. Okay, they were okay with waiting 5 years for an engagement. They was okay taking care of another nigga's kid. His baby mama done beat her up twice. She been paying these niggas bills for 2 years. Like, black women, like I said before, you were conditioned to put up with a lot of bullshit that other races of women would never fucking tolerate, ever. Okay. Like I said, I watched a video today of a white woman saying, as a single mother, if a man is not going to pay for my child care, he doesn't really want to be with me. And da, 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 da. She made a lot of great points. And I just was like, a black woman would never be that confident and forthright about stating her demands because she's afraid to. Because I guarantee if she was a black woman stating this, there would be a slew of comments about how she doesn't deserve that. Oh yeah, they'd be terrified. Yeah, they'd be terrified of us turning up. That's why I had to stop. I had to go back in my mind, like, and recalibrate everything. And I was like, I had to think about all the times when I was about to go full postal on a motherfucker, and there was somebody there like, Lachey, please, Lachey, please don't. Like, there was always somebody there. Always somebody there trying to tell me to calm the fuck down. I have told this story before, and I won't go tell it all the way again, but there was a time where I was being harassed at my job by a male manager, and everybody black around me was like, bitch, shut up. Okay? Stop. Like, do not go to HR. Stop being extra. Okay? The only other black woman that I worked with told me I was being sister soldier, okay, by going to HR. Anytime, I did a whole video about this, but anytime you want to exercise your anger and in a healthy form or whatever. And to me, healthy is you're not hurting nobody. You gotta say what the fuck you need to say. But anytime you want to express your anger in a healthy way or speak up for yourself, period. It's always a little minion right there telling you not to do it. Because everybody just wants you to shut the fuck up. Like, at the end of the day, everybody just wants you to be quiet, take crumbs, be happy that you even have any motherfucking crumbs to take from, okay? And do all of our emotional and physical labor. How dare you have standards? How dare you demand respect? How dare you not be fully focused on having a male counterpart to give validity to your life? How dare you do any of that thing? How dare you do that? But can you listen on the phone while I have all these problems? Can you help me because I have this problem? But watch that as a black woman. Like, they will always call you for support, for advice, for all this other type of stuff. But when you ready to go to Harvard Law School, watch who has your back. When you're ready to have a baby and Tyrone done hit the hills, but you're like, I'm still gonna do this. I got this. It's cool. I have a great career. I'm gonna keep pushing on. Watch who tells you this is gonna be the hardest experience of your life instead of fucking coming over to help you. Watch who um has always something negative to say when you are happy or when you are trying to live in your truth. Those are your enemies. Those are the people you need to watch out for. And again, as I stated before, sometimes these people be folks you're related to. Sometimes you're married to these motherfuckers. Sometimes these are the people that you work with or whatever. But when you decide that you are going to stand up for yourself and you are not going to let people play in your fucking face, people, that's really what I should have titled this video, playing in my face. A black woman story. Like, people love to play because they really are so used to us not doing anything, and they're so used to us accepting the bare minimum. A lot of our mothers, and no shade to them, they accepted the bare minimum because that's what they were told that they had to take, and that's what they were told that was the best it was going to get. And so they did that. And so now we're in a new age, and women are more outspoken, and we're in an age where feminism is more widely accepted, and things are just shifting in a different dynamic. And women are we different. We different. We are not as we're not as concerned about certain things that we were before because we have a little bit more protection than we did before. Um, yeah, I believe that's this. I believe that. I know for me, even wanting to be in a relationship, I've literally, even before I had kids, I was always discouraged by other people, typically women, in my arena. I wouldn't even say in my family, in my arena, in my realm. It was always just like, what you want a man for? What you did is, I'm like, well, there's nothing wrong with having a partner. Like, they treat me well. It's not a bad thing. But it was like, but again, I got the same attitude when I wanted to go to college. I like, and these were people who were college educated, by the way. These weren't people that were like, you think you're too big trying to go to school. It was just like, it was like because it was me. I saw other people around me going to college, and they were, and that's one of the hardest things too as a black woman is to watch your family and your associates clap for other demographics of people, like your brother because he's male, or your Arabian friend that live up the street. Yeah. And they go to her graduation party, but when you graduate, oh, okay. It's very odd. It's like, damn, I'm your own daughter. You don't want to. I'm your own niece. You don't want to celebrate me. But you went to your coworker's daughter's graduation party. Okay, bitch, got you, got it. Yeah, they say a lot. They say a lot of that stuff because they've had those experience. They've had negative experiences sometimes with men that they settle for, and they don't know that you may have a higher standard, and you may happen to meet a dude that's really really good for you. My thing is with older women in relationships, I don't see why they don't give game. That's one of the things, and I honestly feel like it's a form of hating. Why don't you just give game? Why don't you tell women, look, when niggas start doing this, and this, get the fuck out. If a nigga doing this, and this is a green flag. This is a red flag. Like nobody sits down with black women and talk. It teaches them that type of shit, like green flag, red flag stuff. I've seen black women call home to their families because their husband is beating their ass, and their family just be like, "Well, you married him. What the fuck you want us to do?" But that's like I said, that's the energy I see. That's the type of energy I see across the board with black women. Always a motherfucker hating. People lack empathy for black women. They try to dissuade with black women from doing big shit. Um, all types of stuff. It's just always a criticism for her. Really, it really honestly, that's what I'm saying. It don't even really matter what you do. You can decide you want to be a fucking bus driver. Somebody gonna have some shit to say about the fact that you want to fucking drive buses. You can be like, no, I really love it. I really, really, really want to be a bus driver. This makes me happy. This is somebody gonna have something to say about it, girl. And that's part of why you have to be rooted in yourself. That's why these religions are so dangerous because everybody want to look outside to these other deities. You got to look at yourself. And what do I really, really, really want to do? If you really, 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 really want to open up a hair store, do that shit. Who gives a fuck about what anybody else says? I've heard people tell black women stuff like, well, ain't nobody gonna want you because you got all them businesses. Bitch, shut the fuck up with your broke ass. Like, the fuck? You sitting up here with a husband right now and you don't have shit. Yeah, they don't ever want to. And I mean, and that's something that there's room for that. There's room for older black women who are not um who don't hate other black women to give younger black women advice. There that's a niche. Somebody please start it. And not no bullshit ass advice. Like there should be no black women sitting up talking about some, well, if he hit you one time, let it slide. No, like it's too much of that type of shit. It's too much of really anybody giving you any type of information that does not align with, like, when I have gotten really shitty advice, right? I had a physical reaction in my body. Like I felt something like, this motherfucker is crazy. Like I felt like the advice they were giving me was trash. I know one time somebody was telling me something and it was so like, oh, it was so far off from reality and it was some BS and they were being very disrespectful to me. And I felt my blood pressure, like I felt like I was gonna explode because I was younger. and this person was an elder, and so I did not have room to speak back, right? I couldn't talk back because I didn't want to get my ass beat, right? So I didn't, but I remember, I still remember that feeling, and I remember once I got older and I understood what that was, that I was just like, I gotta stop holding my tongue. This is not healthy for me. This is not healthy for me. I don't care about people being like, well, you shouldn't have said that. But you shouldn't have, like, people have always said that to me, and I really don't give a fuck, because I said what I said. And I've kind of gotten to that place now. You know, they say when you get mid-30s, your early 40s, you just stop giving a fuck. I had to get to that point where I was just like, man, please. There's so many people that have been spared because I didn't cuss their ass the fuck out or tell them what was really on my mind. Well, here we are. Now, we're here now. fully fully ready to turn up. I'm not doing that no more. Yeah. But you have to be mindful of that. That's why things are so bad now, or allegedly, I'll say this. Why the dating pool is so bad right now is because black women are no longer taking bullshit. It's not that the dating pool is bullshit. It's that it's not as easy to manipulate women anymore. And in particular black women, because that's who I know about. But across the board, women aren't taking any shit, right? And so that's why the dating pool is so whatever, because we women have evolved. Yeah, oh baby, I done held back so many times, y'all. Please, I had to call my energy back from all them times I held my tongue. There was a lot of energy stored in them situations. I had to light a whole motherfucking candle on that shit. Like, I need to call all my energy back. Yeah, I had to get away from my family, and I know this is something that a lot of black women don't like to talk about. Because we really are a tribal people. Black people, we really are tribal. We tribal as fuck. And we really, we really like to, but a lot of our families are toxic as fuck. And I had to go no contact with several family members, because what the fuck you're not gonna keep doing is talking to me crazy. And what the fuck you're not gonna keep doing is talking about me to other people behind my back, and it just be okay. Because if you weren't family, we would have been face to face going. Like, I would have pulled up on your ass if we weren't family. So to me going no contact is I'm actually being very nice by going no contact. Because why the fuck is you gossiping about me? And why the fuck are you, every time I fucking say some shit, you got something to say? I'm gonna go up here and get some gas. Why you gotta go get gas right now? Bitch, fuck you. I'm so tired. Girl, child, look. I got tired of that. And that's what I didn't realize it until I got older again. One of the first people that pointed it out to me was actually an ex-boyfriend. It was actually a boy. It was actually a man that I was dating who was around my family a little bit. And the first time it happened, he didn't say nothing. Second time it happened, he didn't say nothing. And again, I'm not paying attention to it because I was already conditioned, my mind. So when he's around my family and they're making those snarky comments about me to me, and I'm not saying anything back, my my boyfriend at the time, he not used to that shit. 'Cause his family, they operate like regular people. So he was like, he said he noticed it. So anyway, what happened is the third time that it happened, he said something to my family member who was, I had said something. I had asked the family member, could they watch my child for me, because I was going to go vend. I had just started my business, and I was going to go vend, and I wanted to go share, sell my wares. My boyfriend at the time, I didn't really let people that I dated watch my kids, right? So, and plus he had to go to work. So I was asking my aunt, could she watch my son for me? And she just completely went off on me. Yeah, it does. It does suck. That has been a hard thing for me, is to watch other people get support from their family and their family actually care about them, and not be able to see that for myself. Like, I mean, I have situations that I'm still dealing with right now that would have ended if I would have had family members who supported me. And I had to lean on the Lord. But I was saying is, so the family member, instead of answering me directly and being like, yeah, I'll watch, my nephew for you or whatever. Or, no, I won't watch him or whatever. She immediately zeroes in the fact that I'm going to go sell my wares at a vending place. That I'm going to go vend, right, at this event. I'm going to get my own little table and sell my stuff. Mind you, I'm gainfully employed. Like, I have a full-time job, okay, at this time. But I started a little business and I wanted to go sell my shit. I asked my aunt to watch my son. My aunt immediately, before saying yes or no, immediately, you started a business. Do you know how hard it is to have a business? I have some friends that tried to have a business, but they all their businesses failed. Do you know how hard this is? Like, she has started going in. I don't think you know what you're doing. And da, 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 and blah 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 blah. And what you gonna be selling? Like, she just immediately went the fuck in on me, and I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? But mind you, understand this. I wasn't as offended then as I would be now because I was so used to my family members talking to me like that. But the Lord had it that day, okay? Yes, the great mother was there that day because my fucking boyfriend was there. And my boyfriend at that moment told me that he was fucking tired of how my family had been talking to me. I didn't even know what he was talking about because I was so used to this family of people talking to me like I was boo boo the fool. So he just says, hold up. He says, stop. He just said, stop. He's like, why can't you just be happy for her? And I was sitting there like, right? Because I didn't, again, these are women in my family or family members that I was raised under. So I never, like, let me not say never. I did try to buck back on them a few times, but I always got ganged up on. Like, when I did be like, no, you shouldn't be talking to me like that. Here come my mom. Here come my other aunt. Here come another family member, right? The only person who never ganged up on me was my grandmother, right? Because she just wasn't the type of person. But it always involved other people, or sometimes the family member would call one of their friends to further. To me, it was emotional bullying, right? To further uh, knock me down a notch, right? Tell me I couldn't do something. So, very similar experience to what happened when I decided to go to Spelman College or whatever. Um, but again, like I said, because I know my life and I know my family and I know what I've experienced, I did start to see a theme. Right? I started to see a theme that, like, damn, every time I'm getting ready to do some popping ass shit, these niggas is like calling me names, like telling me that I'm making a bad decision. Yeah, they don't. They don't want anybody to have your back or speak up for you at all. They don't want you to speak up for yourself, like, mainly. So my boyfriend, and he didn't cuss her out. He didn't disrespect her, but he was like, "You won't stop talking to Lejay like that." And he's like, I've never. He said this. I remember this like it was yesterday. He sat there and he said, "I've never experienced a family the way that treats people the way y'all treat Lejay." And I was sitting there like, "Oh shit." All right. And he was a Capricorn too, y'all. So y'all know he meant business in this motherfucker. He meant business. He was like, I just never experienced this. He was like, if I said I was gonna start a business, my grandparents, because that's who raised he was raised by his grandparents. He was like, my grandparents would be jumping up and down asking me what I needed. He was like, but every time Lejay says she gonna do something, because he was like, y'all did it at Joe's Crab Shack and y'all did it when we was at Papa Do's too. Like, he had, so that's when I realized that he had been watching how my family had been treating me. Because he was like, I noticed it this time, I noticed this time, and he was like, and honestly, I just can't hold back no more. That's what he was like. I can't even hold back no more. He was like, I don't even like why are y'all talking to her like this? Like, this woman goes to work, she got her own apartment, she a single parent, and she said she gonna start a business, and that's all. Like, he just went off, and I was just like, oh my god. And then he tells my kid, he said, go get your backpack, we finna go. And he was like, Lejay, get up, we finna go. And he's like, this is not a domineering man or somebody who tried to control me and nothing like that. Very, very sweet guy. Like, I'm still cool with him. And he was like, that was the one time I saw him really like step on his Capricornian energy and was like, I'm not taking this shit no more. And when we left, he just was like, you don't let nobody talk to you like that. Not even me. And I was like, I was really like taken aback. And that was one of the first times I really had somebody stand up for me. Outside of the times that my teachers have cussed out, my parents have cussed out a couple of my teachers for showing their ass. That was the first time I had somebody stand up for me against my own family. And it took me, I was probably like in my mid 20s. I didn't realize until my late 20s, early 30s, that what I had been experiencing as family was really grown ass adults bullying me all of the fucking time. I didn't realize that. And this is also, that's the initiation process. I'm trying to tell y'all. For all of this fuck shit that black women be dealing with dating, when you come from a family, or even if it's just one parent, but if you have enough people or enough, if you hear it enough that you don't deserve shit, right? You cry too much, you're too this, you're too that. Really, just constant criticism. If you hear that all the time, when you get grown and decide you're gonna go out and find you a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever, you attract people that talk to you the same exact fucking way. And so this was part of my problem with some of my relationships that I've had, is because when a nigga would say something to me that was out of pocket, it didn't ring the type of bell in my head that it would have rung in my head if I came from an environment where people were always edifying me and speaking life into me, right? It doesn't sound, a family member telling you you can't do that, and you getting with a boyfriend that tells you you can't do that. It don't really feel different for you energetically. And so this is why a lot of women who come from environments where they are not emotionally supported, they end up in relationships where they're not emotionally supported because that's what they're fucking used to. Yeah, grandma do be holding it down. My great grandma was even more sad. My great grandma probably would have slapped the shit out of some of my family members if she was alive for the way they used to talk to me. My great grandma didn't play about me. Um, However, um, yeah, this is why a lot of women have partners that are not supportive, that play in their faces, that disrespect them because this it's not really that different from the way they were treated as children, as teenagers, as young adults. So the cycle just continues. That's why a lot of women that you see that you're like, wow, she has such a loving partner, and she, her life just seems so whatever, and she has all of these things. A lot of the times she either A, has a very supportive family that was very loving for her, right? So when she met up with men that didn't have shit going for them, that were disrespectful, she was like, what? Block. Like, she didn't even give them any energy. Okay. Or she came from a toxic environment and she healed and set new standards, and now she only accepts loving energy in her life. But again, we are told to not believe what we feel. A lot of times as black women, you're always overreacting, you're always too emotional, you're too passionate. Like, I've gotten all of those types of things from people at different stages of my life. And it's because sometimes people can't deal with your intensity. Like, that can be part of it. They can't deal with your intensity, so they try to get you to tone it down. But that's not your fucking job. It's not your job to tone down anything for anybody. Negging, yes, very, 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 very common. And again, I really truly believe, like, my theory is that people think that black women are fucking punching bags. They think they can talk to us any kind of way because we ain't gonna call the police. We ain't gonna report them to the whatever. We ain't gonna file a complaint. We ain't gonna hit back. We ain't gonna do none of that shit. Yes, absolutely, babyface. Absolutely. They just feel like we're people feel like black women are easy targets. And I mean men and regular people too. They really do. Because they've been raised with this misogynistic mindset or whatever. Oh, yes, they already have that misogyny. So they embody that and they treat black women like shit. I just had a white woman talk to me like she had lost her ever loving fucking mind about 2 months ago, and I reported the fuck out of her ass. I was like, bitch, who the fuck are you talking to? I'm smarter than you. I'm prettier than you. I could talk circles around your ass. Like, do not do me. But see, that's another thing that I realized too. People really, really can't stand it when you're confident. They really, really can't stand that. So what I started to do, because I've always been a naturally confident person. Like, some people are just kind of timid or kind of shy or whatever. No matter, anybody who knows me, no matter what phase of life you've met, you might have met me in my timid girl era. You might have met me in my shy girl era. You might have met me in my Christian girl, I'm not going to cuss anybody out era. But me, when I think about the beginning stages of my life, as far back as I can remember, the VHS tapes that are still around of me as a child, I was always very confident, always very sure of myself, always very outspoken, always. So, and that's really where I feel the most comfortable. Like, I feel comfortable speaking up for myself. I always have. The times that that didn't do that was because other people were telling me, well, if you do that, they might retaliate against you. You might not want to say nothing. Like, I've had people do that to me or whatever. Um, so, uh, when you do embody a total confident, cocky, what a good example is Omarosa from what was she on? She was on, well, that show that Donald Trump used to have. Omarosa, can't think of her name. I can't. She has a weird last name. It's not coming to me. But y'all know who Omarosa is, right? She has a very different first name. She's very outspoken. She's loud. She's direct. She's sure of herself. And people gave that woman hell. And I remember when she was on that one show with that white lady, and she told the white lady, um, I have to do twice as much of you. Something, she basically told her that as a black woman, I have to do more work to be considered as basic as you are, or something like that. It was so savage when I was like, oh my gosh, she said this shit on national TV, but it was some real shit. Um, but she was like, Omarosa, like, she was married with children. She had she had her PhD. She taught at Howard, as a professor. She had written books. She had a business. Like, she literally was like that bitch, the apprentice. Yes, she was that bitch. Like, she was that. She was that girl, and she was pretty, right? All of those things. She checked off all the boxes, and people still was like, oh, her attitude. Oh, she's this. Oh, she's that. And one thing I love about Omarosa is she stood on that shit. Yeah, I'm a bitch, and I was like, come on, come on. I loved it. Yeah, she said white women get to be basic while black women have to be exceptional. Yes. Yeah, she was looking real stupid when she said that. I loved it. I loved honestly, I love watching Omarosa. I love it because she literally symbolizes an unapologetic ass black woman, and I just love that about her. Like, that energy that she holds, that is motherfucker's worst nightmare, and I love it. I love it. I just love it. Her, Whoopi Goldberg, baby, they are capital. Like, it is patriarchy's worst nightmare, because you don't, like, this society wants you on this, like, nobody loves me. They want you to be this, like, they want you to be this sad mammy. They want you to be this sad mammy, um, that, just cries and goes to church and prays that the Lord will help them one day. They do not want you to be assertive, take charge of your own life, and to know your own personal power as a black woman. That's like their worst nightmare, and that's why I fucking love her. She is the worst nightmare of misogynoir, and I love it. I wish that energy on every black woman. And, like, I love it. I love it. But that's what everybody is trying to keep you from. That's what like Omarosa, perfect example. People be like, oh, if you're too hot, if you're too cocky and you too this, you're never gonna find a man. Omarosa been married. I don't know if she's still married to the nigga, but she was like married with children already then. Okay, because that's a lie. You can be an outspoken person and have a spouse. Like, it's like there's like this concerted effort of all of these behavioral modifications that they give to black women. Well, if you do this, and if you do this, and if you do this, if you do this, you'll never get a husband. Well, if you get a husband, don't worry about doing this. Like, there's just all. It's like there's like this map of all these things that you should and shouldn't do, and a lot of the stuff is contradictory. There is no. That's part of the plan. That's part of the process. It's to confuse you. I remember trying to work with these different people and trying to get information about different things that I wanted to do to try to make myself a good black woman and all these different things, a lot of the information was contradictory. It was contradictory, and it also, there was a lot of talk about how I needed to tuck myself away, how I needed to be subservient, how I needed to be submissive, how I needed to make sure I didn't always like, oh my god, it was so much. And I was like, how am I supposed to think like a normal human being and still do all this? Like, oh my god, it's like you want me to be an actress and still be here on earth, and then I'm not getting paid for this shit. I'm not getting paid to act like a damsel in distress. I'm not getting paid to act like a fucking mute. I'm not getting paid to act like a fucking nun. I'm not. What part of the trap exactly? Like, it's crazy. And then one day I had an epiphany, and I realized I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do, and whoever don't like it can not like it. Yeah, girl, I got my nails done, girl. I need to feel. And there is like food in my nails. I know that's like so ghetto. But yeah, they have like little bows on them. Yeah, they say it's the way the world works. No, it's not. That's part of why I teach. This is part of why I teach women spirituality, because no, the world is the way you want it to be. If you continue to believe you don't have power, then you won't do anything, right? Once you realize your power as a woman, as a black woman, as a human being, you don't feel like, well, I just can't do. I used to, when I was younger, again, I'll say when I was programmed, when I was more deeply programmed, I'm still deprogramming, okay. But when I started to deprogram, I started to realize, like, oh, I can actually do that and not feel bad about it. Like, the guilt that I felt about some of the things I would do, I realized that it was really like, it came from a system in my mind. Yes, and that's the energy I want, sis. That's the energy I want right now. I love it. um they really, like, it's like they really, um they just really want you to do whatever it is that is helpful for them in that moment. And that's what I've realized. Like, the black wife effect was all over TikTok. Yeah, that's black women. That's black female energy right there. You see it. Okay. That's why everybody pulling on it. That's why everybody wants a piece of it. Like, that's why everybody is trying. This is why, like, people always be in your face and stuff and be like pulling at you for shit. Because it's your energy is healing. Your energy is restorative. So imagine if you take all that energy that you had from dealing with dusty nigga, or dealing with toxic family members, or dealing with crusty ass job, right? These three different parts of life. And I'm sure there's other parts of life you could probably apply this to. When you decide, well, I'm not going to accept this behavior anymore. I'm going to move like this. Or I'm going to use this energy for myself. Yeah. But most black women know this. Most black women know, when you be like, F this, I'm gonna do what's best for me. All of a sudden your skin is clear. All of a sudden new opportunities are open up. All of a sudden you feel better, because everybody is eating off of our energy. Everybody is eating off of black women's energy, and you have the ability to starve niggas. You have the ability to starve them. You have the ability to dry their asses the fuck up by not giving them attention. And that's what's happening. That's why a lot of these people, it's going off on you on the dating app in the little inbox. Well, bitch, that's why you fat anyway. You're starving him. Well, why haven't you called me? I'm your so and so, and this person was talking shit about you to your face 2 months ago, and so you decided to not call them anymore. You're starving them. This is why they get mad. I used to be like, I used to cut people off because I'm a Scorpio. Y'all know I cut niggas off like, I don't care who you are. Okay, I don't care. Okay, we share DNA, you can still get cut off, baby. It's nothing. It's nothing to a boss. Um, yes. So the psychic attacks that start when you start pulling away from these people, absolutely. So when you start to cut them off, I have seen people spaz the fuck out because I stopped calling them, or I blocked them from, I mean, completely spaz. And I'm like, I'm not paying your bills. We don't share no kids. Um, We wasn't talking every day. So why is it that now that I don't want to speak to you anymore, you're so angry? Because you starving that person. Everybody eats off of your energy. I'm like, please understand this on a deep. This is what I really, the meat of what I want to say, and I'm gonna try to close out now. That is really the problem. Everybody is eating off of your energy. When you at work, and you're like, why they give me all the work? Because you get the most shit done because you the smartest person there. How many of y'all have left jobs and then as soon as you leave the job, whether they fire you or you quit, some bad shit happens to the company, or the company actually closes all the way the fuck down? I have experienced this multiple times. Multiple times. And I'd be like, damn, I was in a major lawsuit. Yeah, you gotta start cloaking yourself, sis. You gotta start cloaking, and doing more protective work on yourself. Girl, I had one spiritual coach, and she told me if I just did protection, I'd be all right. I was like, really? It's that bad? She's like, yeah. Yeah, you gotta start, like, one of the things I have started to do, and I teach, women this too, is I start sucking my energy up. I just start sucking it up. I have my ways to do that, but I suck the energy up. Oh, word, y'all fire me? Let me call all my energy back that I put into this company. That's probably why the companies be crumbling apart, because I call all my energy back. Return to sender, call your energy back, all of that shit. All of that shit. Um, so again, when you stop talking to people, when you leave jobs, when you leave relationships, all types of stuff, people like that understand that anger, that's where it's coming from. It's coming from down. I can't plug into that socket no more. And they don't some of them don't understand this like consciously. Like, it's a subconscious thing. But they get really, really mad. Like, again, y'all talk about how we talk about the femicide against black women, how there's black women, every 4 to 6 hours a black woman is being killed by an intimate partner. Why? Because she trying to leave this nigga alone. She trying to leave him alone. She's trying to escape. And this man, this person, cannot fathom living without her, cannot fathom living without her energy, cannot fathom, because even though he may be an abuser and he may be controlling every aspect of her life, he's still feeding off of her energy. Like, the abusers, they feed off of controlling somebody and abusing them, and controlling every move they make. Like, abusers, they are nothing without somebody to abuse. They're nothing. That's part of why they need somebody to abuse. They need a host. So when the host dies, or when the host pulls away and it's like, no, you're not gonna suck any more of my blood. These motherfuckers, this is why they be killing us. This is why. One, they're mentally fucking ill, right? I'm not saying this is not the woman's fault at all. These people are mentally ill, but it's because of how magnetic and powerful we are. Because this happens to white women too. It's just happening at a higher rate to us because a lot of these men of black descent are very, very ill in this country, coupled with the fact that they are sucking so much energy from their partners, right? And when their partner is like, well, fuck this shit, I'm about to go. I'm tired of taking care of this nigga and his badass kids. I'm tired of paying all the bills here. I'm tired of this nigga beating me up. And then the man decides, well, I'm gonna kill her. And a lot of time, what do they often do after they kill a woman? They kill themselves. Why? Because they can't fucking feed anymore. Because that's really what it's all about. These companies too, like I said, they'll go belly up. They'll have all these problems. They'll have all these class action lawsuits and shit pop off after black women leave. You wonder why? I know why. So that's why everything's fucked up. Everything that's fucked up is because of people trying to usurp black women's energy, and a lot of black women have awakened, right? And there's more coming they're still learning. Their minds are still being opened up, and we have started to pull our energy back. And people are in a fucking frenzy. They're in a frenzy in the dating apps. They're in a frenzy in the boardroom. They're in a frenzy in the fucking at the Capitol. They're in a frenzy everywhere, and they might not even know exactly why they in a motherfucking frenzy, but that's why they're in a frenzy, because black female labor is becoming scarce. Black women are tired and they're pulling the fuck out. People used to always make funny stories, make jokes about Hispanics. Also, I used to live in Texas, right? So there's a really large Mexican population in Texas, right? So people used to talk about how Mexicans, how, when they would build houses and stuff, they get them houses built like that. They'll build them like that. And I'm comparing this to that. If all of these Hispanic people, particularly those who don't have papers, decided, look, y'all gonna pay us what y'all supposed to pay us. Y'all are not going to pay us under what y'all are paying everybody else because we're not citizens or whatever, or because we can't speak English or whatever, right? We do good work, we want to get paid this amount of money, right? If they did that shit, like literally, these builders would probably shit themselves. They wouldn't know what to do. They would not know what to do because they are dependent on Mexican labor. Yeah, they own these companies and they're, they faces on the business cards and all sorts of bullshit, and they getting all this money coming in, but they're dependent on Mexican labor to build these houses. With that analogy, that's exactly how everything is for black women. Everything. The companies, right? How many stories have we heard about, a black woman creating something and somebody just took the idea and ran with it or whatever? Like, there would be nothing if it wasn't for black women and our ingenuity. The family aspect, the career aspect, I mean, all of it. There would be nothing. So that is pretty much what is going on. That's why the dating pool, they say there's pee in the dating pool. They say all this other kind of stuff. It's because women are pulling out from black women. I'll say black women. I'll talk about black women in particular and specifically. It's because black women are pulling out of janky shit. We're pulling out of janky relationship. We're putting out of all the janky shit. We're pulling out of one, and then two. We are we have raised our standards as a collective, and so people are mad because they want us. It was easier before. It was easier to leech off of bitches before, man. It was easier to pimp these hoes a year ago, 5 years ago, but it's not no more. It's not, and black women are starting to finally realize just even a peak of their worth, and everybody in trouble. Yeah, because a lot of women that were engaging in the hookup culture, right? The women who were engaging in that, who really didn't want to be, right? They were doing it because they were settling. They were told, this is how you get a man, girl. Just act like, some of the contradictory advice we get. Act like you don't want a relationship, right? You hear that all the time too. And then you hear, well, act like or no, tell him up front that you want to be married and don't take no for an answer, and he has to court you and he has to do this thing, got to meet your grandmama. You hear both of those things, which are very contradictory, right? You hear both of those things. Do what's best for you. No, we're not settling anymore. And people are really, really up and up, and I love it. I love it. Everybody mad. Whatever. Um. Okay, but that's the gist of what I wanted to talk about. I know I hopped around a bit, but that's really the gist of what I wanted to talk about. We have raised our standards as a collective. Yes, we have a few stragglers here and there, but as a group, a lot of black women aren't taking bullshit anymore, and also a lot of black women don't even care about being romantically involved with anybody anymore, because a lot of black women are focused on economic development. And that's what's really pissing a lot of men off who don't have anything, because they're like, what you mean? Like, what you mean? Like, they don't understand how you could not have children in some situations. You ain't got kids. You only focus on your career and you got a house and two cars, and they're like, bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why you don't like, they can't even understand that you don't care about having a man. right? So now you have all of these boss women that are focused on economic development and personal growth. When you have these men who are underdeveloped emotionally, socially, psychologically, financially, they you literally existing pisses them the fuck off, because how are you doing better than me and you're a woman? How? Like how? They don't even understand. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Ooh, yes. She said men have been raised to be vampires and now they are confused. Yes. And that is part of why they're angry too. You got to understand. They uncles and daddies and these other men 10, 15, 20 years ago were telling them how to behave, and that shit don't work no more. It's kind of like everybody telling telling people our age that we were supposed to, you have to go to college to get a good job. And now all these people are graduating with degrees and they can't find work. It's along they feel bamboozled. They're like, I thought I could get a bitch to do whatever the fuck I say by telling her we was gonna get married, and now these women is talking about they don't want to get married. I thought I was gonna be able to drag her around for 9 years with no ring. She don't even, they don't they are flabbergasted because the manipulation doesn't work anymore. Yeah, they're pissed off. They're very pissed off. They're very pissed off. They are very pissed off because it doesn't work anymore. And yeah, we don't care about we don't. What I mean, I say that romance was made for poor men. This is true, but they are see. Woo, child, these men have gotten away with not even being romantic at all, right? So now they're trying to like scramble for shit, and they're like, well, let me try to buy her some balloons, try to buy her some flowers. That ain't even impressing women no more. Women is like, buy me a house. Where's my car note money? Now, and so now you're a gold digger. Now you a gold digger because that's not good enough for you, because you actually want something that means something. So now they real mad. Yeah, all yeah, exactly. All that they grandpas have to do is have a job. But you gotta understand, it's men out here who don't even have a job that have wives. Like at one point, it got to be like all you had to do was just be like, I want to get married. And these women have gone out and bought their own rings. Okay, there are women who are literally celebrities who have gone out and bought their own rings. So men have become much lazier than their grandfathers even were. So now that women are demanding stuff, they really mad because again, 10 years ago, you didn't have to do shit. All you had to do was have a penis. That's all you had to do. So now that's not working anymore. And they pissed off about that. Exactly. Exactly. Women couldn't have a job, you couldn't get a bank account, you couldn't even get a fucking divorce. You could not get a divorce. And if you did get a divorce, oh my God, the stigma that was placed on you. Now you have men. I remember this is probably like 3 or 4 years ago. Okay, so this woman was dating my child's father, and she told me that I was a hoe, and she said it with such aggression. I think she expected me to. She, it was she expected it for me to feel insulted and to have a rebuttal. Yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I'm telling you that the patriarchy that goes on between sister brother, like the way they cuddle these men. This is also part of why they're so lackluster. But I understand because I too have brothers, so I understand. But I remember that this girl called herself trying to turn up with me, and she was just like, "Well, yeah, I heard you was a hoe," and I was just like, "Great." Like I didn't even care. Like the type of things like people calling you a bitch, a hoe, a slut, like all those different terms that are particularly used for women to try to like disparage them. Like women don't even care about that shit no more. Because on the radio, bitch is like a common word now. Like it's not even a negative word anymore. Neither is hoe. They say hoe in the radio on like that's like So, anyways, this language that has been used to disparage women doesn't even we don't even care about that shit no more. Like, we're like, okay, that's an insult, haha, that we're not mad no more. Who cares? But that's part of what I'm talking about. Like, everybody wants you to kind of like fold. Like, I guess this woman felt like, again, she was the one dating the person I had a kid by. So I don't really know how she thought she was better than me, because I'm like, well, you're dating the same nigga, but whatever. Um, she called herself trying to call me, a whore, a hoe, or whatever. And she thought that was going to make me swing on her or do something to her or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, great. Like, when you don't care about what people think about you, and when you are rooted in yourself, again, you are the worst nightmare of patriarchy. You're the worst nightmare. Because yes, there are women working for patriarchy. These are the stepmamas that feel like they're better than you. The new wife who feel like she better than you. The bitch who's married so she feel like she better than you. The manager who feels like she can talk to you crazy because, well, when she was in your position, everybody talked to her crazy and she toughed it out. Like, any woman that disrespects other women or uses um a woman's marital or parental status to try to make her feel bad, she's being used by the patriarchy. She's being used by the system of patriarchy. You can still be a misogynist and be a woman. So, with all that being said, people, again, it's all about behavioral modification. People just wanted to say and do stuff to you to get you to try to act the way they want you to act. Like, I don't know if she thought I was gonna beat her ass or cry, but I didn't do either. I just like, okay, cool. Oh, great. Next, what's next? Like, but when people are insecure, when women are insecure, which most women are, what women are encouraged to be insecure in this society, and encouraged, to believe that there's so many things wrong with them, when they need to get a man, they need to have children, they need to do this, they need to, like, there's all these things that society tells women that they should be, even though we are the supreme. Anyway, I'm not going to that. Even though we are naturally dominant, even though we are naturally intelligent, even though we are naturally resilient, right? That all of the things that people tell you and society tells you need to do, those are all tools of, I mean, yeah, people talk about the devil all the time. That is the devil. The devil is the disrespect of the mother. That will always be the devil to me. The disrespect of the mother energy, disrespect of the female energy, the feminine energy. Anything disrespecting that to me is the devil. So when people talk about the devil, that is the devil to me. And that's the devil's motive, is to keep you disempowered, to keep you unsure of yourself, to keep you questioning your value and constantly trying to mold yourself to be these different type of energies and people so that you can be accepted. That's the dumbest shit ever to me. Now that I'm aware, because I told you I used to be Gumby. I was Gumby all day long. I was bending and stretching and changing my voice from this to this, and child, I done did it all, trying to make other people comfortable. And it was, again, it is challenging, because when you start to stick up for yourself, the way people treat you is crazy. But eventually they learn to respect you. Eventually they learn that they can't play with you. But it does suck. But that's what it is. That's the issue. People are just used to treating black women like they are maids and like they are scum. Yes. Yes, that's actually what one of my teachers says. She says that the whole vibe of keeping you disempowered and lacking confidence is to, in this system of capitalism and patriarchy, is to keep you spending money. You know what? I actually thought about that before I did this live. I was just like, women go do a lot to be consumable for males. They do a lot. I'm like, y'all be shaving y'all coochie, y'all be shaving y'all upper lip, y'all be you know, going places that um I guess to try to prove that you're whatever. Some of y'all even stay at home to prove that you're a good woman. And it's just really crazy to me. I just be like, what? Like, when I hear women talk about how much they spend on maintenance, I'm like, I hope you're doing that for you, because I don't do half of that shit. Like, I remember I had went on a date, right, and I was talking to my friend. I was like, girl, one of my eyelashes was bothering me, so I took it off. And my friend was like, "Oh my god, if I didn't have my eyelashes," I think she said something like, I would have canceled the date." And I'm like, "Why?" And she was like, "Cause I don't want my eyelashes done." Like I know women who like they won't even go on a date if everything is not done, right? And I mean, they will spend hundreds of dollars to make sure that everything is done. And again, I've been really working on my authenticity. I've never been. I literally feel like I can get up, brush my teeth, and walk outside, and I just feel like I'm still like I'm Aphrodite. Like you can't tell me shit about me. Like I think I'm the shit. So she was like, "No, I would have had to do everything. I would have like, so you would have paid to get your hair done. My nails were already done. I like getting my nails done. I do this for myself. Okay. Um, Actually, the most recent person that I was dating, like they hate my nails, but whatever, right? I still get them done 'cause I like it. So, she was like, "Oh no, I would have had to do everything." I said, "So you would have had to get your hair done. You would have had to get your nails done. You would have gotten your eyebrows waxed or whatever and drawn, and you would have basically spent." And she said she would have done a few other things, right, just to make sure she was all the way beautiful. And I'm like, for a nigga you just met, these are the same niggas that just want to go get coffee. So I'm not gonna do all of that. But anyways, I said all that to say, like, no, I went without my eyelashes because I'm still the baddest. What do you mean? Like that's just how I felt, about me. But I said all that to say, like, I was kind of like, what? But I know, like, a lot of women, this is how they really do operate, for real. Like, they really do operate on, I have to make sure that I have a brand new dress, my hair done, my eyes are this way, I have this, I have that. I get electrolysis under my chin. I'm just like, I'm not doing like, I don't even shave my legs, y'all. I don't shave my legs. I don't do none of that shit. I ain't and I mean, I've realized that I have a like some women, I guess they can go places and men fawn all over them. But I'll say this: I know I've never. It's been years since I have done certain beauty treatments. I've never gone years without a man trying to talk to me. So, but I also don't care about men talking to me the way I used to when I was younger. Exactly. I end up eating a slice of pizza, end up drinking a $3 cup of coffee, and you don't went and got dolled up for what? Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, really, the hope to me, all of that shit to me, now that I have aged and I have done more work on myself and I have just all this stuff, I'll just say this: all of that shit to me has become performative. I find it highly performative. If I get really dressed up and I decide I'm gonna go on a date, this is because this man has invested. I really, really like him, and I want to be dressed up in his presence because I really like him, and he has done something for me in my life that he has a value in my life now. But a first date, a second date, a third, fourth, fifth, sixth date, maybe six. I'm not dressing up and I'm not shaving shit. I'm not shaving shit. Period. Like, that shit is so crazy to me. Cause I've always in my mind, I'm 35. Okay. I have literally always thought this. I know some women are just now arriving to this point, but I've always thought that only people walking around here with no pubic hair are fucking children. I'm not a child. So that that part, okay? And when you get to a point where you're focused on grinding and trying to create economic stability for yourself, um, you don't be wanting to go nowhere because the date it's a distraction. Why don't go out like I got to a point in my life I was like, go out and talk to a nigga for what? Like what? And I say that because I'm not at a place where I mean I have other things going on. I don't really care about that. But yeah, that's the big thing. It's always hurry up and wait. Like, I know so many women that put off going to school because people are like, well, you need to wait till your children get older. You need to wait until your husband is done with it. Like, girl, it's always about some hurry. That's another thing. A part of the another part of the uh what's the word? The dissuasion of black women, right? People always trying to dissuade you from doing shit and persuade you to do dumb shit. But part of the dissuasion that I see a lot of the time is they tell you to put stuff off. So I know a lot of women who have a lot of they put a lot of things in their life off because of things other people told them to do. So I know women who don't have children because their family told them you need to get you need to go to school first. And that woman's heart of heart, she really wanted to have kids first because there's nothing wrong with that. But now she's 40 and she's crying about how I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to have kids, which she probably can. But she's that's not how she wanted to do her life. But she did it that way because somebody told her to do it that way. Then there are people who they were told you need to get you a husband and sit your ass down with some kids for you worry about having a career. Focus on that first. And now she mad because she sat up and had 50 little children and with some dude that wanted like child. Right. Do you like whatever makes you feel good? Like, and I don't even care if a woman is shaving all of her coochie hair or getting it waxed. If that would make you feel good, do that shit. I just don't. I'm not gonna do it. I don't, cause I'm not doing it. But yeah, it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And that's why my whole stance is do what is best for you. Like, stop trying to women. Y'all do stuff. Y'all got to get off of the big mama effect. Y'all got to black women particularly. Y'all got to get off of the big mama shit. Y'all whole mindset is like, well, if I just sacrifice everything that I have, no. If you sacrifice everything you have, you will end up like the lady on Soul Food, sickly, alone. I mean, I don't understand. But again, like I said before, I've always been told that I have a stink ass attitude because particularly because I've been unyielding about some things. Like there's some things I just won't go for, and I didn't accept. Um, but having standards, being unyielding, and doing what you want to do without regard for other people get mad at you about that. And people get mad at you about that because everybody is feeding off of you. Like I was saying, everybody is feeding off of your energy. So when you when you decide that the answer is no and you're not doing it anymore, everybody has to follow. Everybody has to adjust to that. So it's easier if they can control you and get you to allow yourself to let everybody leech off of you because they don't have to live they don't have to they don't have to they don't have to come up to where you are. If they can bring you down to where they are, that they would prefer that because you don't have to bring them up to where you are. You don't have to um set a standard for them. You don't have to wait for them to come up to where you are and to meet you where you are. It's easier for them to just break you down. So when you get to that place where you know you got everything going and you're doing good, and that's what happens to a lot of people. They be like, well, she's graduated from pharmacy school and got her Mercedes. Now she don't talk to none of us no more. She doesn't talk to none of y'all no more because as soon as she finished pharmacy school and she bought her Mercedes, y'all all started calling her asking her to borrow money. That's why she don't talk to y'all niggas no more. Because y'all couldn't leech off her no more. It was cute when y'all could be like, my daughter went to pharmacy school. My granddaughter went to pharmacy school. That was cool because you were getting some shine off of that. Now that you can't get no shine no more, and now you have to be responsible for yourself. Now she's a bitch. Now she like Oprah did this. Oprah did, and they tried to talk shit about Oprah about how she don't fuck with none of her family. I don't. This is the same woman who got pregnant by a family. Somebody, was it her uncle that impregnated her at 14? I won't fuck with them niggas either. Y'all let a grown ass man impregnate this woman at 14? She shouldn't have nothing to do with none of y'all bitches. Not one of you. People are mad because she got all this money and she don't want to. She doesn't fucking have to. I always tell people when people get mad at me, I've had people get mad at me about that same type of energy. And I had to tell them, like, you bitch, you was not with me shooting in the gym. Straight up. You was not with me shooting in the gym. I really don't give a fuck. Yeah, I think it was her uncle as well. And I know that was a different age and time, but still, I understand her energy on that shit. Um, yeah. So, anyways, a lot of, again, everybody is feeding off of Black women's energy. We built this shit. We created this shit, and people think they can keep eating off of us. And there's time. The time has come where that's not gonna happen anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't even just get mad. It's like they begin to wither, and that's where the anger is coming from, because there is no longer, they don't have anything to feed off of no more. Like, we literally give people a reason to be alive. Like, for real. We give people we give people life. And I don't mean that just in the aspect of becoming mothers. We give people life. Like, there are so many men, like we recently saw Tisha Campbell come out and talk about how she had this illness, and I forget, I think it was a sarcoidosis but she had an illness that, she was very, very sick. And then after she got divorced, all of a sudden she had no more health problems no more. That sounds like a leech, don't it? That sounds like a leech. It sounds like she had a leech attached to her, and then once she got the leech off of her, all of a sudden she don't have no more health problems. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is how it is with most things. That energy is not different just because she was in a marital relationship. This is how it is with jobs. This is how it is with a lot of our families. This is how it is with a lot of shit. When we decide to back the fuck up, yeah, that's all they can do is be vampires and eat off of us. When we decide, no, I'm no longer available, people really get mad, because it's like, how dare you? I used to really have a lot of empathy for other people. As I have gotten older, I mean, been through more shit, I have I have less empathy for people, because I have watched how little empathy people have for Black women. And so I just be like, oh, mm, sucks to be you. 'Cause that's the type of energy that people give us a lot of the times. So I just return that energy, and it does make people mad. But when you can, like I said before, when you conserve your energy for yourself and use it for yourself, you get on Omarosa level. Like, you get up there. You get on what's her name, Whoopi Goldberg level. You get on that level of no fucks given. I'm taking care of myself. I'm well watered, and you be great. And that's when you do attract the people to you that will bust a motherfucking name out for you, that will defend you, that will ask you for your hand in marriage appropriately, that will be there for you as a friend. That's when you attract those type of people, because that's real. That's the energy you have embodied. Yeah, these people is crazy as hell. Yes, they are. They are. People don't like to talk about that shit, but they are. They can be really, really rough at jobs. Black managers, Black female managers, yeah, they can be a bitch. But I've had issues with every race of manager. I've had an issue with every race of manager. I remember. Okay, so perfect example. I was 16. I had a male coworker do something sexually suggestive to me. Right? He did not touch me, but he did something sexually suggestive to me. I'm 16. Right? I'm a 16-year-old girl, and I remember I was going to report that to a manager. I was going to report that to HR. Can you believe everybody? My manager didn't know, but my coworkers, my manager found out eventually because I did report it. But all of my coworkers told me not to say nothing. They were like, "Oh, he got a family." Well, I'll be damned. Maybe that's more of a reason why he shouldn't be making sexual comments to a 16-year-old. You think? But everybody told me not to report this man. And I went home and I talked to my parents, and they was like, where's the HR? Where is the HR number? Okay, and we reported that nigga, and he lost his fucking job. It was a Hispanic male, and he had a wife and children, and he lost his job that day. Like I promise you, it was like 2 days later. He went. By the time I went back to work, he had been removed. Yes, I think in general, people forcing black women. And I talked about this a little bit a couple days ago. In general, I feel like people forcing black women into the workforce is another form of slavery. I feel like they know they know the disrespect and the sexual harassment and the racism that you're gonna have to deal with, and they still tell you to go do it because that's what they're doing. It's safe to go have a job. So, but it's not even safe to work as a black woman. It's not. It's not. Why people and I need to handle some business. Um, but yes, this is a good chat, and I want to leave you all with take your power back. Take your power back, and don't let nobody else have it unless you want to give it to them. All right. I hope y'all have a good rest of your Sunday.